And here we go again. Let's hit the next one. And hit enter. And what are we going to get? Dear God, what are we going to get? Oh no. I'm already worried. As soon as it starts with like footage like that, is it some thing that's supposed to look old? Is it original footage? I mean, oh, I've just noticed the title of the video. Fuck's sake. I mean, the title is just as cringy as cringe can be. That whole misuse of the word Nazi, and one, it needs a fucking capital. Oh, dear God. This isn't Fox fucking News or whatever that awful news company did that thing to try and get a reaction from last time. It's not them dickheads again, is it? No, it's bigger dickheads. It's the British paedophilia company. God. Here we go. I mean, there's one company that nobody in the world should have any faith and trust in. Hey, we're going to take your money and charge you for a TV licence and fund paedophilia. That's okay. Fucking hell. This really, I'm expecting this to be the biggest pile of shit going. Come on, BBC, don't disappoint.
If you go down to the woods in Kent, you'll be sure of a big surprise.
Well, no, you wouldn't be, because you'd be going to War and Peace, and you know what War and Peace was, or is, as the case would have been back then. You'd have been going to a military reenactor event full of reenactors portraying history. So you wouldn't be surprised at all. But nice try to try and get a reaction, BBC. Well fucking done. Oh, it's the 82nd Boys. I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, fucking hell. Simon Howard was one of them, and who? I want to say Danny, but it's not Danny. No, I can't think of the guy's name.
The Second World War is raging, but they're not real bullets, and that's not a real stiff.
A real stiff. Wow.
And they're not real Nazis. They call this living history. It's all good, clean fun. Or is something darker lurking in the woods?
Well, let's face it, BBC. You don't know there's paedophiles in your organisation everywhere. So what the fuck do you know about anything dark? Hello? Hypocritical cunts, maybe? Yes, you are. Wow.
It's Glastonbury with tanks. Every year, over 100,000 visitors come to marvel at the biggest military vehicle show in the world.
Oh, the blonde guy, I can't remember his name. What a lovely bloke he was. The guy on the tank. Let's rewind. No. All right.
100,000 visitors come to marvel.
Yes. Him. I can't remember his lovely guy. Can't remember his name. Do you love War and Peace? It was the best show of the year till they moved it down to Folkestone and fucked it over.
The biggest military vehicle show in the world. If
Was.
your thing, it's a fun day out for all the family.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
Everybody, welcome to the KN War and Peace Show 2007, the 25th anniversary of the show that has been claimed as the greatest show on the planet. Are you happy to be here?
Today they're reenacting the Battle of Normandy, 1944.
As opposed to the Battle of Normandy 1206? Like what? Now the crazy thing about this is that I could be in that battle. Who knows? They were all pretty much the same every year we did the battles there.
I'm curious. Why do grown men spend their weekends dressed up in out-of-date uniforms, rolling around in the mud?
Well, why not interview them one by one and find out? Not start by calling them all Nazis I'm trying to paste them all as bad guys.
While the bang bang you're dead raged on.
Oh, see again, it's just that stupid childish method of reporting to try and get a reaction and just say stupid shit. Well, when you see through that style of reporting, you just realise that it's really, really childish. It's, I'm going to insult you and then try and get a reaction, and then I can comment on that reaction. You're just a fucking idiot, mate.
I went to meet some of the other reenactors who come from all over the world.
Oh, legend. Every year travels from Japan to go to events. Saw him at Victory Show last year. Lovely bloke.
Hey, who are you?
I came from Tokyo, Japan.
See?
Hi.
Who are you?
General Field Marshal Eric von Manstein.
The 4th Battalion Middlesex Regiment, circa 1917.
Which regiment are you?
Regiment Angers,
The Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. Your regiment?
Gordon.
The Gordon Highlanders.
And then the Black Watch.
Et pour moi, c'est le 2e régiment de la Légion étrangère, the 2nd regiment of the Foreign Legion.
But you're not French.
No, I'm English.
You're not Scottish.
I'm French.
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 Again, just trying to pick holes in anything you don't understand. Why would a French person want to do a Scottish unit? Because that's what he's interested in, and that's what he knows about, and that's what he can teach other people about. Because that's not important to these dickheads. What's important is that in his eyes, he's doing something he shouldn't be, and he's doing it wrong. Wankers.
They're ordinary people with a less than ordinary hobby.
So far, the only thing he said that I agree with. And I'll say it myself. Our hobby makes no sense whatsoever. We wear uncomfortable shit, oil-soaked clothes, we carry webbing, we carry guns that don't do anything, we carry ammunition that doesn't work, we eat lukewarm food cooked over a fire, we drink lukewarm coffee, we sleep on the ground, and yet, you all know it's the best hobby in the world. You meet the best, and sometimes worst people in the world, you have that camaraderie, and you live a different existence than everybody else on those weekends. You experience things which nobody else will. So, idiots like this, unless they're going to try it, their opinions are, it's just shit off my shoe. It's just not worth anything.
Most reenactors here do the Second World War, so someone's got to play the Germans.
Oh. Yes, because we make the Germans turn up and we make them dress like that. God forbid they'd have an interest in it. Fuck me.
But it seems nearly everyone wants to play the bad guys.
No, they don't. Where does he get this shit from? What's the most popular? Well, with all jokes aside, American 101st. But I would say there's an equal American to German ratio, if not more American reenactors. But I could be wrong there. British probably being third.
Germans to British, you're probably talking 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Quite evenly. I think it might be the glamour of the uniform. It's the dark side as well. Yeah, dark side, we call it.
The last time Fred Roberts faced the German army was on D-Day, and then they weren't playing at Killing.
See, it's... Now, what would have been interesting is if he had actually spoke to this Fred Roberts, who was on Normany, and asked him what he thought about this. Because every veteran I've spoken to, and I spoke to a hell of a lot, they love what we do. For them, we keep their stories and their history alive. We tell their stories to other people, and that keeps on. That history doesn't get forgotten and pushed aside. It's kept alive and fresh until it gets diluted by these moronic fucking reporters from the BBC and Fox News and that other cretin bullshit company, whatever that was, that I can't remember.
Is this real, this kind of scene? Or is it, I mean, it looks real to me, but I don't know.
It's not as real as that because there's a constant fear. of
Yeah,
every-
obviously.
It's a fear of getting killed, I think.
Looking around, for every one British reenactor, there are 10 Germans.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, I'm sure. I just don't understand that, quite honestly.
These chaps are SS.
Yeah. Well, I find it rather difficult to come to terms with that because it always brings back memories. And they're only playing as soldiers, and I still find it a little bit shivery.
Yep, absolutely fair point to the guy. Yeah, I'm glad he did talk to him. Says it finds it a bit shivery and then laughs it off, but whether that's nerves or whatever. But again, I bet if you asked him, do these guys have every right to do this, and is this what you fought for, the freedom to do what you want, he would say yes.
Here, even the ordinary German soldiers, the Wehrmacht, are outnumbered by the Waffen-SS. Originally, Hitler's bodyguards. Aryan supermen, fanatical Nazis. Why would anyone choose to play the SS?
What is it? What is this playing word? I mean, I jokingly say I'm going to play soldiers, but I feel like it's almost fine for us to say things like that. But for somebody else, it just seems degrading and wrong when you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Doesn't help either. You don't play, you do an impression of. But as they say, you can't educate stupid.
Can't portray history with just the nice bits
Yep,
involved.
absolutely.
We don't tend to hide away from the history.
Good.
We know what the history was about.
Yep.
We understand why it happened. And we try to keep it in people's memory to understand that this happened. I think the worst thing you can do would be to let it go.
Absolutely.
And forget about it. It's a bit strange, actually. My grandfather was Royal Navy, and I can stand here and say that my grandfather fought for my right to wear the German Army uniform.
Fuck me. Is he not just said exactly what I just said a moment ago? Although he's a reenactor and not a veteran. But, yeah, exactly that.
You know,
To wear the swastika.
to wear the swastika.
Wear what you want.
Does this in any way, playing the SS, does that impact on your own personal politics? I mean, are you a member of the
Am
Green
I a member
Party?
am I a member of the BNP?
It
or
might be a
the-
question.
No,
No.
not at all.
But some of the
No.
other
Again, you gave the wrong answer because he was fishing for a yes. He probably asked that question about 50 times that day, if not more.
chaps, I mean, because I can imagine it happening like that.
Most groups are run on the understanding that if you come into a group and you start spouting off your own personal politics,
Yep, absolutely.
Then you're not welcome.
And that's the same in any group. We don't allow politics of any kind. I don't care what you support. That chat is not welcome. Sex, religion, politics is not welcome in our WhatsApp chat, on the misdrop pages. No, just don't do it. Nothing good from it. And it was the same as when we used to run pubs. Those 3 topics are banned. You want to talk about that? Get outside. Simple. They're not worth the effort.
That's a claim I intended to put to the test.
Have you met Irving in that?
Oh yes, I've been actually with White Marshall last year.
Reenactors take great pride in their attention to detail.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
the uniforms are kosher, so to speak.
Fuck off, you dickhead.
Even the fake wounds.
You see him making Jewish jokes because there's German reenactors in the background. Absolute child.
It's all part of bringing the past to life, living history, and it's obvious that the public love it.
Yeah, they do.
It's a family affair. Even some of the kids are dressed up as Hitler Youth.
I suppose this wanker would rather they just be sat at home on a PlayStation. not moving, not going outside, not having a hobby in anything, an interest in anything. How dare you take an interest in history? Prick.
Romance is in the air. A couple are getting hitched. Nick Beardshaw and Michaela Zett usually play German medics as reenactors.
Oh, no, they don't play anything, you moron.
But previously, we'd seen bride and groom around, dressed in civvies, decorated with SS symbols. My first impression is of a big fat Nazi wedding. Later, I was told I was wrong about that.
Yes, no shit.
Apparently, to the trained eye, many of these uniforms are not Nazi at all.
Nick and Michaela, you have given your marriage vows and personal promises to each other in the presence of your family and friends, and I am now delighted to pronounce that you are husband and wife. Would you like to kiss the bride?
It's a beautiful day, but you're in a Nazi uniform.
No, we're not in political uniform, we're just in uniform, German army uniform. It's to recreate a period in history which obviously can't be forgotten. We're here to show justice and show people's respect to everybody. There's nothing political about it.
Yeah, good answer, mate. The only thing I think I would have added, I said, well, that just shows your ignorance. There's nothing political here. You throw these attempts at insults back in these dickhead faces and educate them at the same time.
Free country, and on their happy day, they can wear what they want. If tolerance extends to them, then it should also extend to others who feel that getting married in this way is not just a little bit tacky, but tasteless.
Oh. Have you seen some of the pictures on Facebook of people's normal weddings, and you consider that okay? But having a hobby and getting married your own way is tasteless and tacky, did he say? Wow. Self-fucking entitled opinions, don't you love them? I mean, they really didn't help themselves by inviting the BBC along to their wedding. What did they think the guy was going to report on? Like, the BBC don't just go to people's weddings to film it and interview you. They were clearly had an agenda.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the boys, stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. So who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done? Bugger off.
In Britain, we can afford to remember the Second World War with some affection. In Europe, it's a different story. What did German historian Dr. Karina Urbach think of the War and Peace show? To begin with, I showed her some Nazi knickknacks that were on sale. So let's have a look at this stuff. So, there's a mouse of Himmler, SS t-shirts, Adolf Hitler, beer mat.
I mean, yeah,
What struck?
in fairness, some of that is just shit. And I don't really know why you'd want a mug with Hitler on, unless, I know there wasn't, unless there was a mug with Hitler on during the war that had some significance to being used now in an impression. Yeah, it's just shit.
You as being interesting or shocking?
I was so shocked. I didn't want to be shocked because I thought, oh God, I don't want to be provoked and I don't want to be the sensitive German. But I was shocked about these marks with Hitler images on it. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, the guy wasn't good looking, but apart from that, he's a mass murderer. I mean, you don't want him in your kitchen.
Now, the question that should have been put to her is, there are loads of people wearing t-shirts and jumpers with mass murderers on them. So, where is the line? Where do we draw that line, you know? I've seen loads of things with Dharma on, obviously, after the TV series where you can buy T-shirts and jumpers and shit with his face all over. I know he didn't murder anywhere near the amount. Well, he murdered them with his own hands. Now, Mr. Adolf, he didn't. But one's okay and one isn't.
As a teacher herself, did Karina think the living history reenactments had educational value?
I'm sure these people are all perfectionists and get it absolutely right. But what do you learn about history from this? Nothing.
Oh, you ignorant bitch. Wow. I mean, these fucking battles, yeah, I'm with her. And if she's referring to this battle, and all fucking battles like it, they are just a shower of shit as I'm concerned. It's just, it is going back to playing Bang Bang You're Dead like he said at the start. They are fun for the reenactors and the public just clap because, you know, they think they're supposed to clap. Nothing can be learnt from them at all. I mean, this guy's hiding behind a tank, you know, with that has machine guns and a cannon, and he's firing a pistol. That it just says how stupid that is. But to say that nothing can be learnt from reenactors, fuck me. Really? Really? Utter shit. Pure ignorance. But then she's a historian. I'm sure she knows best. Dick.
Where's the context? I mean, where's the feeling for war? Where is the political context?
Oh, whoa, 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 a minute ago. You didn't want any political context. But now you want political. Make up your fucking mind, dickheads.
Do you feel the fear? Do you feel the pain of being wounded? Do you can't reenact any of this.
Don't know. We can. Come along to our next show and I'll show you what a bayonet feels like. Dumb bitch.
You got me. In Germany, displays of the swastika and other symbols of the Third Reich are illegal. Indeed, the German authorities are so anxious about neo-Nazis that they've tried to get the whole of Europe to adopt their ban.
It makes sense in Germany because we had the Holocaust. We have, thank God, we still have some Holocaust survivors around, and I can understand that it upsets them terribly. So we should not have this in Germany. But of course,
yeah, nanny state.
I would never forbid you to do any of this.
Can I get a photo? Yeah.
Photo.
Away from the war games, it looks like a car boot sale for the Warrior Classic.
Everything he says is to get a reaction. He can't do a single sentence. After the war games, not a war game. A game involves some skill and there's a winner and a loser. Although that battle will always have a loser, the Germans, every time. It's not a game, moron.
Says. But trading in Nazi memorabilia is a multi-million-pound business. This man, who calls himself Hans, has come over from Germany, where it's a crime to display much of the stuff he's flogging.
So, it's not over here.
The government wants to
What's your point?
Get this ban on swastikas across the whole of Europe. Do you think that's a good idea?
No, I think it's nonsense, because it's part of history.
Yeah.
And while you ban just the symbols, you will never ban the idea.
What happens if you were sort of caught on the street wearing that uniform that you're wearing now?
Oh, in Germany?
Yeah.
I would be probably arrested. And then the police would take me to the station. And I will have to go in front of court. The uniform would be confiscated. And they would probably charge me with making Nazi propaganda on the street.
Why this particular bit, though, of German history? What's wrong with, you know, one of Bismarck's Pomeranian Grenadiers?
Why is the fascination for those uniforms?
I mean, looks good.
Probably the one thing is the Nazis knew how to sell themselves.
Yeah.
How to make the marches. If you look at Nuremberg, at the Reichsparteitags, they knew how to demonstrates the power. And I would say, at the end, it's fun. If someone is offended by seeing a swastika, he should not go to the show.
Yeah.
Because he knows.
That's the biggest problem. You know, if you go to a show called like War and Peace, the war aspect cannot happen without two sides. Otherwise, it's just military and peace, or an army and peace. You can't have a war without two sides, and one of those sides is always going to be the bad guys. And if you don't like the bad guys, or the bad guys might upset you, don't fucking go. Simple as that. Don't go and complain. Oh, I saw swastikas, it hurt my eyes and my feelings. Fuck off. Get a backbone.
What's waiting for him there? Then he should just skip the show.
Absolutely.
And stay at home.
Yep.
Jewish people would say that's offensive.
Yeah, then he shouldn't come here.
Yeah, yeah, simple as that.
Halfway through the War and Peace show, British summertime arrives.
Oh.
I've seen plenty of war, but where's the peace?
Don't worry, I've got more.
Even the umbrellas sport SS symbols.
No, some umbrellas.
When the rain lets up, I meet author Harry Pearson. His book, Achtung Schweinhund, pokes fun at our love affair with the Second World War. So what do you think of the show so far?
In a sense, it may be accurate to the British vision of the war because our memory of it isn't of the actual event. It's of all the paraphernalia surrounding it, Action Man and all these things. So our view of the war is kind of confused in a sense by that because there's a real war and then there's the fictional war that came afterwards, which is all good fun and explosions, and at the end of it, everyone goes home for tea. If I'd come here as a small boy, I think I'd probably have wet my pants with it, I must say. So all the things that I spent my teenage years making models of, here are models of them, but bigger in the models that I made.
Now have a look at that little detail there. There's the Nazi in the black coat with his leg up and his dog. And the dog's got a
leg in its mouth.
With blood on it. Now I last did that, I can remember sort of painting little airfield soldiers when I was 7. What's the single thing that you think's missing from what you've seen here so far?
I guess that there's nothing about the Holocaust here at all.
No. So yes, there won't be, because you're not allowed to show it. If it had been there, this BBC cretin would be all over it, giving this disrespectful. Can't do that. That's going to make people upset. So what do you want it? Do you want stuff to be shown? Or do you not want stuff to be shown? You dickheads need to make up your minds.
Thing about that, the political aspect of Nazism, which, the Nazism was a political movement.
Yes, I'm glad he gets it.
I went in search of anything that might commemorate the Holocaust. What I found was not what I expected. How much is this? 550 quid. Why are you selling a concentration camp trolley?
You know, that's just a wooden thing with iron on it. I'm not selling.
We'll let the next one play. I don't know if the next link that Sid's going to have sent me is the next piece, but we'll let this play through.
Grenades and bullets, it's just a wooden trolley. So.
Yeah, it doesn't say just a wooden trolley. It says concentration camp trolley, SS marked Bergen-Belsen.
Yeah.
It feels somehow wrong.
There's a difference between politics and collecting.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't do politics.
Yeah.
Nobody here seems to do politics.
No.
But hang on. Here's someone who's intensely political.
Oh no.
Writer David Irving is a pin-up for Europe's neo-Nazis.
This
like
nut
his hero,
job.
Adolf Hitler, Irving stirs up passions wherever he goes.
Yeah, because the guy's a fucking nut job. Like, ugh, really?
Hello, Mr. Irving. It's John Sweeney from the BBC. Hello. We're doing a film about Beltering, the War and Peace conference. I was just, not conference.
That's actually arrived about 5 minutes ago, so I'm not properly set up. These are the books which I'm working on here.
How many books have you sold so far?
I've only been here 10 minutes. I sold 2 books and a video, and I expect I sold about 100.
What do you want to tell people through your books, through all this stuff? What are you here for?
Can't be hammered into the ground.
Oh, that was a... Did you notice his arms then? As soon as he asks that question, he crosses his arms in a defensive pose, putting that barrier between you and the person asking something you didn't like. I love body language. It says so much without saying anything.
Do everything they can, my opponents, to silence me. They smash the windows of Waterstones if Waterstone sells my books. They put pressure on the printers. They put pressure on my publishers around the world, not just in England. They intimidate.
Yes, because you're a fucking wacko.
Others disagree. In 2000, a British judge described Irving as an active Holocaust denier, anti-Semitic and racist.
Yeah.
Last year, he was jailed in Austria for denying the Holocaust. People say that your books tell lies.
Yeah, I think they tell lies too. At the end of the Livstat trial in the year 2000, I remember saying on television, there must be millions of people around England who've got my books in their bookshelves, scratching their heads and saying, what's going on here? We've read his books.
No, people who have read your books, and I've read one of them, and I scratched my head alright, thinking, how the fuck was this written and published? And did this guy actually believe the shit that he wrote? It's just a fucking nonsense, I think, is the best way you can describe what he wrote. Absolute biggest pile of crap going.
He gets magnificent reviews from real experts, not just these jumped up paid experts in the High Court. They say magnificent things about his books. Who's telling the truth?
Not you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, John. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Oh, you hesitated.
I hesitated.
You hesitated.
But I shook your hand.
No. Oh, yes.
I also...
You've shaken the hand that has shaken more hands that shook Adolf Hitler's hand than any hand in this entire campsite.
Oh my god. I love the way he refers to himself in a same sort of similar aspect as Adolf Hitler, because he's shaken lots of hands. Dear God.
While Mr. Irving continued autographing his version of history, one of my colleagues filmed in the tent behind him. This is the place to buy your hardcore Nazi paraphernalia. But it's the pamphlets which are on display that leave the nastiest taste. They're blatantly anti-Semitic. I get the impression that some people are taking advantage of this show and our great tradition of freedom of speech to peddle their tat and some very peculiar politics.
Like the guy you just conveniently interviewed, and his interesting politics.
I'm running late. The toilet block looks like the Somme.
Yeah, that was War and Peace, alright.
But I've got a date with the Waffen-SS. The largest German reenactment
SPG.
Group here is the 2nd Battle Group. They portray the 1st SS Panzer Division, Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler, originally the Führer's bodyguards. Heavy dudes.
Okay, come to attention. Say jawohl, Unterschärfe. Dan mag ik alles klaar?
For the punters, it's a day out with a difference. But for these guys, it's no joking matter.
Fritz!
Jawohl, Unterschärführer!
Even a basic uniform will set you back 500 quid, and that's before
And
you've
some.
accessorised. All commands are given in word-perfect German.
Ken Carter? Up to Ken Carter?
Well, almost. I was hoping to introduce myself to the fussy chap on the right, Glenn Swallow. He's the Sturmscharführer, the boss man to you and me. But I
No,
sense this
not
wasn't
to you
quite
and
the
me.
moment.
Whatever rank it would be. Hans?
Instead, I thought I'd check back with Hans, the trader, whose party trick I discovered is to stamp the SS lightning flashes on a 50p bit and a swastika on the Queen's head. Isn't there a law against that? But hold on, there's a copper on hand, one of a number we'd heard were in the reenactment scene. The guy in the Nazi hat is a member of the 2nd Battle Group. I wanted to ask him if he saw any contradiction between playing the SS and being a police officer. Hi. Hi, hello Hans. I've just got a word with you actually. I'd like to have a chat.
You wear a microphone?
Yes, and no, not at all. Free country.
Tell the camera to go down.
Not at all, no, because it's a free country. Anyway, I've heard that you're a police officer, is that right? Because what you're doing is you're associating with some false Why are you running away from me?
Because you're a
Hans
cunt.
had told us he'd visited Hitler's mountain retreat with the policeman, but we didn't get the chance to ask him why. Later, the copper told us he didn't hold right-wing or Nazi views, and his hobby didn't affect the way he did his job.
Absolutely.
I retreated to my bunker to try and find out more about the second battle group. They've been in Saving Private Ryan and several BBC docudramas. Fair enough. Their website declares the SPG is a totally non-political organisation. We do not aim to glorify war or the Nazi regime, but we do aim to portray the fighting German Waffen-SS soldier as accurately as possible. But the regimental history they present is far from accurate. Here there's no mention of the murder of 80 British POWs near Dunkirk in 1940, or say the killing of 400-odd POWs.
No, because you really are a fucking moron, aren't you, John? If they had mentioned it, you would say they were glorifying the fact they shot POWs. And because they omitted it, you're now picking fault at that. Like, no matter which route they took, you would find fault. You're not a fucking reporter, you're just a fucking sulky toddler.
And civilians in 1944. If you're going to portray the SS accurately, what about the massacres?
Sorry, you want them to reenact massacres? That's what I just got from that. So if you're going to do it accurately, you should portray massacres. God, can you imagine what would happen if they reenacted a massacre with, like, civilians? Fuck me. Is this guy fucking stupid?
Watching the reenactments, I don't see any prisoners being shot in the back. I felt I had to
Again, if this happened, there'd be outcry, and rightly so.
ask, why don't they mention the war crimes?
Why would you mention the war crimes? That's a better question.
I was just wondering, what about the
Oh, here he is.
the bad history? They were the bad history of the SS. They were an army.
We don't represent the what you're thinking of. It's an armoured group.
But it was a Nazi fighting machine. They went around massacring civilians.
I'm Jewish.
They were Jewish. So yeah, but they were, you know, they massacred people. They massacred civilians in France. They massacred the British. I mean, if you're doing it accurately, you ought to know about this, surely. Then the man in black asked his officer,
just
"Didn't
ignore
behind
him.
the vehicle for help. Have I caught the SS at a bad moment?"
Yeah.
Then it seems the SPG troops were issued with orders to remain silent in the face of the enemy, and I had no ways of making them talk.
Yes, but nice try at humour. They don't have anything to do with you because they know what you're doing. Fucking moron. He can't actually be that stupid, can he, as a reporter? Wait, he works for the BBC. Yes, he can.
You're not talking to the BBC. I'm just wondering why that is. Okay. But surely you're actors. It's not a minute.
Oh my God. Like, I don't know why I would literally just say fuck off at every end of every sentence. Just fuck off. But why you not just fuck off? But why are you not just fuck off? Why are you not asking me just fuck off? Like, and what? What are you going to do, John? What? Put me on television telling you to fuck off? Fuck off, John.
For you now. Is there anybody here who'll talk to me? What's the problem? It's the 21st century.
Yes, it is, isn't it? But you don't realise how fucking hypocritical that statement is being. It's the 21st century. Everybody's got a right to talk to people and do whatever they want, except the guys portraying units in history you don't like. Yeah, interesting. Nice try, John.
Why are you running away from me?
Because your attitude stinks like shit.
I don't feel as though I'm being made welcome.
Now, funny that.
Finally, I tracked down the senior officer on duty for the 2nd Battle Group, Glenn Swallow. You've decided not to talk to the BBC. Why is that? You're wearing SS uniform.
Oh, get a life.
Why do you choose to reenact a Nazi racial supremacist military fighting machine? Why is it impossible in England in the 21st century to answer my questions?
Because you see, I get why they took that approach, but I think it was wrong. You just turn it back on his head, because you're just trying to cause trouble. You are out here looking to cause trouble and to upset people. I'm not doing that. I'm portraying history. You are the troublemaker here.
I wanted to catch the 2nd Battle Group in a more relaxed moment. Once the public...
I mean, is this not tantamount to harassment? You've been told nobody wants to talk to you, so you keep asking them questions, and then the next day, or later in the day, you go and stalk them in the beer tent.
Go home, the reenactors hit the beer tent reserved for them. But few of the SS seem to have slipped into something more comfortable, apart from the odd zombie. None of the 2nd Battle Group would talk when our camera was around,
Yeah, funny that.
so we used hidden cameras. Their website claims they are not political, but in private, their senior officer, Mr. No Comment himself, Glenn Swallow, after quite a few beers, was only too keen to share his politics.
Interesting. If it existed now, or it's too late for me now, I would join. Yeah. And I believe we should be sorting Muslims out, personally.
In the pitch black in the early hours of the morning, Swallow's face is not clear, but here he is talking with a chum from another SS reenactment group about the British Army.
And always perverts out of Africa, don't waste time. Tell me about it. Controversies, they undermine the morale of the unit. All this PC goes on. I got investigated at least 3 times. Someone's been asking questions about the way you think, what you do. Now the Muslims have played the card. Now they've realised, instead of looking at people like us, which is on the system side, they should be looking at them. Yeah. I know it's truthfully, because I've been told. Nice gas chamber somewhere.
Yeah, how dare you make a joke about something? I mean, drunken beer talk? Yeah, probably. For somebody outside of the hobby, I guess you don't make jokes about gas chambers because it doesn't get mentioned in normal day-to-day life. But I guess if you're portraying something like that, it might do. I don't know. I mean, I'm not defending those comments because, they're a bit, on edge. But again, since when is secretly recording people, when is that acceptable behaviour?
I was curious to know what a foot soldier in the SPG had to say for himself. Here's one, setting out his views on black people.
Really nice guys. That's how it's about. But if it came down to it, if I had a choice, I'd say you only get rid of all of them. Or none of them. I don't think it would be all of them.
I've been warned that the SS reenactment scene is in danger of being infiltrated by far-right groups from across Europe. Combat 18 and Blood and Honour are neo-Nazi organisations with a history of violence.
But you guys are genuine Combat 18 from Holland, yeah? Yeah, Blood and Honour. Yeah. Got different groups. Yeah. We're all from under C18. Yeah. We like Blood and Honour and Combat 18 together. Yeah.
Boris Banwitz has come over from Germany to join up with his British mates in a Luftwaffe reenactment group. He's the kind of Nazi who gives Nazis a bad name.
God. I mean, there's one thing about making a joke about a concentration camp, and then there's guys that talk like that. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that really is digging your own grave, isn't it?
Blood is not any more fresh. No. You can't get the blood put again. Yeah, there to. We go to the whole future, and we won't have it like the Nordish one and so. And the other problem is, let's get simple. The people who don't have blood, are intelligent, yeah, you know, so those brainers, they get
But
cancer.
what he's saying there is quite true. If you look at children and families in like Africa, and they're all starving parts, the logic seems to be the more children you have, the greater chance that one will survive. Now, it's a very flawed logic, obviously, because if you have one, then you have the food to feed one rather than trying to spread that food across 10. But without any form of decent education, a decent healthcare, you know, there's no way of educating these people. So he's onto something without having enough information and being very literate.
The higher intellectual or the worker class, das can only refute. So it's even said in the future, how the brain gonna start out. Because only those low-level people get children.
Wow.
This is what you have to put up with if you value free speech. The second battle group told us that they are a non-political organisation and will not tolerate members with extreme right-wing views, that they strongly oppose racism and fascism, and they will be carrying out an internal investigation. The War and Peace Show organisers told us they did not invite or welcome David Irving and have always tried to police the show to the best of their ability. They do not want extremists here and regret the unacceptable stupidity of a tiny minority.
Yeah, and it is a tiny minority.
Are here for the beer and the fun. But on the dark side, it seems to me that there are too many people going around unchallenged, unrepentant, who think that what the 21st century is missing is the firm hand of Adolf Hitler. And that's not on.
Oh, shut up.
Not even for the weekend.
John Sweeney, you're a fucking self-righteous, hypocritical dickhead. I mean, everything you said, you twisted and jumped from this pillar to that pillar. 1 minute you can say what you like and think what you like. Next minute you can't. Make up your mind. Absolute fucking tool. Jesus, I can't believe that's 47 minutes of BBC bullshit I just had to endure. Yeah, thanks, Sid. Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get any, reporting, more like fucking antagonising, these shows, they are all the same. There's only been a few, and they all take the same stance. You're all weirdos. You're all right wing. You're all gun nuts. You shouldn't be doing it, and that's it. There's no intelligent thought to the whole of these programs. You just try and get a reaction out of people, and fuck me, you do, but it ain't a good one. Yeah, John Sweeney, you get stabbed and left in a fucking ditch. What a waste of fucking oxygen you are. Wow. Right. And on to the next.